We have Joe Jordan on the line, so let's bring him on. Hey, Joe, Cosmic Joe's with us. He is a astronomy nut. Is that fair?
Oh yeah, I love nuts anyway. So
So do I. Cashews especially.
no problem there.
Great to have you. And if you guys need to go, you can, or stay for this brilliant interview. But Joe, you said there's something exciting happening up in the sky. And there always is something like they're shooting down balloons and things, but that's not what we're going to talk about. Maybe we'll get to that. There was a terrible cartoon with this guy all bandaged up, and he said, I was just on a pleasure trip in my private balloon. But I digress. So what is going on up in the night sky that we might want to hear about?
Well, you might think I was going to talk about the green comet, which you could only really see the green if you had pretty good optics and astrophotography equipment and all that. You can still see the thing, but it's really faint. I've been tracking it from night to night in binoculars, and it's in a different position every night, so it's kind of like it's alive. But that's not what I'm going to talk about, because that thing is basically on its way out of here for another 50 millennia or so. The thing I'm going to talk about is what maybe some people have seen lately in the western evening twilight sky. These two bright dots that you might have thought were balloons. Or most people probably see something like this and they think they're airplanes, because our sky is just full of those. But keep track of these things. It's Jupiter and Venus, the two brightest planets. And they are putting on quite a spectacle over just the next couple of weeks. And they're going to have a conjunction, a dramatic, spectacular conjunction on March 1st. Which is, I don't know. Just look on your calendar. Mark your calendars. Every clear night you get a chance to look for the next couple of weeks. They're going to be in a different position. You're going to actually see these two heavenly bodies earning their name of being planets. That comes from a Greek word, planeti, meaning the wanderers. So it's these bright lights that, unlike the constellations, which appear to sort of stay the same in their shapes, these planets kind of wander around amongst the stars and the constellations. And so Jupiter and Venus are closing in on each other rapidly. From night to night now, you can really notice the difference. And, most of that motion is due to Venus. It's closer to the sun. And when you're close to the sun, you got to move faster to keep from falling into it and being burned up by it. So Venus is the one that's really doing most of the motion against the background stars. Jupiter's way out there. It's more sleepy. But between the two of them, you can really see the changing positions, and they're going to be like a moon width apart on the night of the 1st. And you got to do this, you wait till 7:38, that's too late. Venus will have set by then, and Jupiter not long after. Well, in fact, on the 1st, they're going to be side by side. They'll go down at the same time. But just watching. This evening here in Santa Cruz, it's a little bit high clouds, but they're so bright. You can probably see them. In fact, if I wander out front, I might be able to tell right. Well, pretty soon. Go out tonight soon. But we got all these wonderful clear nights around here, and anywhere else you are, that you can see the evening sky for the first hour and a half or so after sunset. You're going to see this amazing thing. And these only happen every few years that Jupiter and Venus have a conjunction. But they're the best of the conjunctions because they're the two brightest planets. And it just makes for a very arresting sight when they're right next to each other, which they will be on March 1st, which is only, a dozen days or so from right now.
That's right. And a lot of people this time of year don't go outside and spend a lot of time outside because it's really cold. But it's a great reason to put on a very big jacket and maybe lie on your grass and look up at the sky.
Yeah, or if you're in a tall apartment building or something in some big city, go up, look out whatever the highest window or parking garage on the roof you can or something. And just get a look to the western sky, and you will be well rewarded.
Very cool. So I did want to ask you, there's all this chatter about, the United States has shot down these objects. Do you have any insight about what they might be? Besides the balloon, we know that was probably a balloon. But why do you think suddenly we're doing this? Or maybe the question is, What do you think these things are? Are they spy things, or are they weather testing devices? What do you
You
think?
know, I don't have any more intelligent speculation on that than anybody else, and who knows even whether the military really knows if they are very interesting objects. But the military probably doesn't even know what the hell they are, which is kind of exciting. One of them we heard was, they call it octagonal, but that applies to a two-dimensional figure like a stop sign. It's an octahedron. In 3 dimensions, it would be an octahedron. It's like 2 back-to-back 4-sided pyramids, or bottom to bottom. So why is something flying around up there with that shape? Well, who knows? But let me just tell you something. There are 2 astronomy stories here that come together at this point. One is, you might have just seen in the last couple of days, an article was published and made a big splash in the astronomy community that there's a link between big supermassive black holes at the centers of galaxies and dark energy, so-called dark energy, by which the universe's expansion, which you would think would slow down due to gravity, it's actually speeding up. And nobody's really had any idea about this dark energy, but it seems to be real. And now it turns out black holes seem to have some fundamental relationship to it. And they tap into the vacuum energy of the very structure of space-time itself, what some people might call the zero-point energy or whatever. But the connection to these UFOs is, I wouldn't be surprised if, and I actually have some colleagues from NASA Ames, where I worked for decades, who seriously think that some of these UFOs could actually be things, us, going back in time, us in the future, coming back in time, maybe to warn ourselves. But the thing that's interesting about this zero-point energy is I've often thought that, well, hey, UFOs, they don't use any combustion. There's no combustion signature, in the infrared. They move without burning anything. How do they do that? Well, I'm thinking they might be using, again, the very structure of space-time to change their position in time.
Wow, that's something to ponder as we close out the show tonight. Joe, I hope you'll come back next time there's a conjuncture again of planets or anything else we should look up and check out in the night sky. And I hope you're doing well. Thanks for being here on Talk of the Bay. Really appreciate
it. Well, thanks, and keep an eye on the sky.
That's right. Keep looking up. Bye-bye. That was Cosmic Joe Jordan joining us here on KSQD's Talk of the Bay. I'm Rachel Ann Goodman.